he sweat in my mouth. First day, day one, sweat in mouth.
You don't normally rehearse for movies, and because it was a fight scene, we had to rehearse basically for 4 weeks beforehand. So it's quite a unique situation.
That was the first scene we shot together, but my first scene in the film, so it was a really intense way to start the movie. But I think it was really interesting to kind of, you know, explore Batman and Selina's relationship without words, and I think it's a really wonderful way to start the story off. It kind of very clear what the dynamic's going to be based off of that scene.
And I heard that there was a lot of sweat during that scene.
Yep, lots of sweat.
That was Zoe.
That was me. It was all me.
She had to take her little hat off and squeeze it out
gross.
afterwards.
He was still getting used to the cowl,
I was like,
too.
you're gonna have to get some deodorant.
Oh my God! No, he sweat in my mouth. First day, day one, sweat in mouth.
So that's a good way to start a relation between two characters.
Yeah, very good start.
Yeah.
Really, this is clearly, it's done wonders.
I started to sweat. How?
Yeah, why don't you just, it's right in my... Yeah, it was just, you know, I wanted to find ways to try and incorporate that into her movements, and it's not very literal, it's more about the energy, you know, and especially I think knowing I was going to have a scene with Rob, a fight scene with Rob, trying to figure out ways where it felt believable that I was able to kind of match him, because he's obviously physically stronger than me, but, you know, the element of surprise and being able to move quickly and all of that, I think was, you know, Selina's strength as a combat person.
There is that video.
Oh boy.
Look at him move. He's hungry.
Oh, did you see this thing? Yeah.
What is this?
Vampires look for the most irrigated and thinnest skinned part of the body.
Everyone thought I was making this up. It's true.
Oh, the chicken and the butthole thing?
The butthole thing.
The anus of this chicken is the spot.
No one believed me. I sent that to Matt.
He just didn't respond?
He didn't respond. I was so embarrassed afterwards. We hadn't.
Have you spoken about it since?
I don't think I ever brought it up. But I sent it. Yeah, he didn't say anything to me. And I was
He's like, I literally don't have time for this.
Yeah, it's like, this is not funny. That's how bats fight. They scare you until your butthole's exposed.
Oh my goodness.
When they move in.
Oh. Thank goodness we're in France. I can hear this.
From your secret friend.
It was the first thing that Matt said to me. He was saying there's something about Kurt Cobain with just being, you know, you're kind of a rebellious person, kind of putting a middle finger up to the system, but also you're quite vulnerable and kind of fragile at the same time. And I thought it was really interesting because, like, normally Bruce, when he's Batman and Bruce Wayne, is kind of, he looks like a kind of master of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and
ultra confident.
Yeah, and Matt just thought, you know, I really want Bruce to be a recluse, and he's building Batman in his basement basically by himself. When a rich kid who had his entire family structure taken away from him, pretty much every single rich kid who I know has like gone into a massive spiral, into a decline. And I was saying to Matt, like, this guy's like kind of gone through, he's probably like had a drug period and all this stuff, and this is becoming Batman has saved himself. This is his therapy. I thought that was much more associated with kind of madness and trauma, and I thought that was really interesting to play.
Yeah. This is, you know, it's rare where the physicality of the characters is just as important as any of the acting scenes, and we've trained very, very hard for many months.
And even just tiny moments, you know, just climbing up things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, it's heavy.
And also I think, you know, the way that the characters even walk and all of that has to correspond with the way that we move when we fight too, so it kind of all has to blend into each other.
I was talking to Matt a lot about what Bruce would be listening to, and I was just thinking he would definitely be a kind of black metal guy, like, and sort of death metal and like drone death metal. That was really a lot of the stuff I was listening to. And Leslie was walking up the set, it's like, just screaming.
I like that. I think that works.
And it kind of works. And I just love those guys who are really into death metal, but they listen to it with no reaction on their face.
Yeah,
it makes
yeah,
it
like
really,
just
really
dead,
loud.
yeah, dead inside.
It's like don't feel anything. And I love that. That's who Bruce is.
Green screen's difficult. I think already, these very heightened situations and these costumes, you can feel kind of silly, and when you're able to really lose yourself in the moment and feel like this is really happening. The LED, it was incredible. It was, we had that scene on the roof, and that took a week to shoot. To have a week of sunset, and have to wait for sunset every day if you wanted to do it the real way. And then also, like focusing, making sure your eye looks like you're looking at something real, and when you don't have to worry about that, you can really focus on the emotional state of the characters, and it's great.
From the first shot in this movie, it's so much about intimacy and like specificity and obsession, and it's what Matt said to me at the beginning. He was like, I want to do a movie like The Conversation, but how? It's a Batman movie, and to see him actually achieve it, and obviously there are the kind of big moments as well, but it's almost a surprise when it becomes on a kind of grander scale. But I love all this stuff. I mean, it's funny because the graphic novels are all about that. It's investigating like tiny elements of a crime. It's kind of been largely ignored, that element in the movies. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm so curious because it does feel really different to the other Batman movies. I'm very curious how everyone's going to interpret it.
Konbini!